King Arthur, a name that echoes through history, a figure shrouded in mystery and legend. His tale has been told and retold for centuries, captivating audiences with its blend of heroism, magic, and ultimately tragedy. He's the legendary British leader who, according to myth, defended Britain against Saxon invaders in the early Middle Ages, a time of great upheaval and conflict. His leadership was crucial in holding back the tide of invasion. The story is a tapestry of magic, chivalry and tragedy, woven together with threads of courage, love and betrayal. It's a complex narrative that explores the best and worst of human nature, centered on a boy who pulls a sword from the stone, an act that signifies his destiny and sets him on the path to becoming a great king, and becomes king by destiny, a ruler chosen not by birthright but by fate itself. This moment marks the beginning of his reign and the dawn of a new era. Arthur's Camelot is a golden age, a court of justice where fairness and righteousness prevail, and where all are treated equally under the law. A round table of equal knights symbolizing unity and brotherhood, where each knight's voice is heard and respected, and a code of chivalry, a set of principles that guide the knight's behavior, emphasizing honor, courage, and loyalty. But the legend is also a tragedy, a cautionary tale about the fragility of even the most glorious kingdoms. Camelot's fall comes from within. Lancelot's affair with Queen Guinevere and the betrayal by Arthur's son Mordred spark a civil war, tearing the kingdom apart and shattering the bonds of loyalty and friendship. The final battle destroys Camelot, shattering the dream of a perfect society, leaving behind only ruins and memories of what once was. Yet hope lingers. The wounded Arthur is taken to Avalon with the promise he'll return when Britain needs him most. A beacon of hope in times of darkness and despair. This once and future king idea transforms Arthur into a symbol of hope and national identity. A figure who embodies the values and aspirations of a nation. He's not just a king of the past, but an eternal protector. The legend's powerful ending ensures it's retold and reimagined by every generation, each adding their own interpretation and relevance to the timeless tale. Arthur's story is both a warning and an inspiration, a myth that never truly ends, continuing to resonate with audiences across time and cultures. Why does Arthur's legend endure? Its adaptability is key. The core elements, a noble king, brave knights, a magical sword, a wise wizard, and tragic love, fit any era or medium. Arthur's story explores leadership, loyalty, betrayal, and the struggle between good and evil, making it timeless. He became a national symbol, especially for Britain, representing resistance and unity. Monarchs like the Tudors used Arthur to legitimize their rule and inspire national pride. The chivalric code of the Round Table, protecting the weak, upholding justice, remains aspirational. Arthur's mythic ambiguity lets each generation find their own version of him, warlord, philosopher, king, or tragic hero. This flexibility keeps the legend alive and relevant. Arthur's world is filled with unforgettable characters and epic quests. The Round Table unites legendary knights, Lancelot, Gawain, Galahad, and Mordred, each with their own strengths and flaws. Their adventures, especially the quest for the Holy Grail, test not just their might, but their virtue and faith. Only the purest, like Galahad, succeed, while others, like Lancelot, are undone by human weakness. Beyond the Grail, tales of giants, enchanted forests, and tragic love, especially the triangle of Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot, add depth and drama. These personal conflicts mirror the larger collapse of Camelot, as rivalries and betrayals unravel the unity of the Round Table. The legends blend heroism with heartbreak, making the characters relatable and their downfall poignant. Camelot's rise and fall is as much about human nature as it is about adventure. Is there a real Arthur behind the legend? Some historians point to early medieval texts. Gildas mentions a great British victory at Baden Hill, later linked to Arthur. The 9th century lists Arthur's battles and records his victories and death. These sources, though written centuries later, suggest a powerful leader who resisted the Saxons. The persistence of the Arthurian tradition in Wales and Cornwall and the sudden popularity of the name Arthur hint at a real figure. Supporters argue that such a legendary hero is unlikely to be pure invention. Perhaps behind the myth lies a Romano-British warlord who inspired the stories. The legend may preserve the memory of a real resistance leader. Yet, most historians even today remain skeptical. The biggest problem: absolutely no contemporary evidence exists. Gildas, writing soon after Baden Hill, conspicuously never names Arthur. Later sources like and are centuries removed, heavily blending folklore and legend together. The fantastic details, Arthur slaying hundreds alone, clearly signal myth and not verifiable history. Archaeology offers absolutely no concrete proof, no inscriptions, and no direct links to Arthur at prominent sites like Tintagel or Cadbury Castle. Some scholars now believe Arthur is actually a composite of several different warlords, or perhaps a mythic hero whose legendary deeds were later historicized. He may have simply started as a Celtic folk figure and was later transformed into a powerful national champion. Therefore, searching for a single, definitively real Arthur may ultimately be a futile quest for a man who simply never existed. The Camelot of legend, a place of grand castles and noble knights, stone castles, knights in shining armor, symbols of chivalry and courtly love, is far removed from the 6th century reality of post-Roman Britain. The world of Arthurian legend is a far cry from the world that actually existed. After the Romans left, abandoning their settlements and infrastructure, Britain was a land of decaying towns and fortified hilltops, a landscape scarred by the departure of Roman order, ruled by warlords, not kings in palaces, their power based on strength and loyalty, not divine right. Warriors wore leather and simple helmets, practical protection for a brutal age, fought with spears and axes, tools of survival in a world constantly at war, not lances and plate armor, the symbols of a later, more refined form of warfare. Battles were brutal clashes, desperate struggles for land and power, not chivalrous tournaments, displays of skill and honor governed by strict rules. Society was tribal and fragmented, a patchwork of competing groups with many small kingdoms, each vying for dominance, not a unified realm with a single king ruling over a peaceful land. If Arthur existed, he was likely a temporary war leader, a figure of military prowess chosen by local chieftains to fight a common enemy, a coalition leader rather than a divinely appointed monarch. Even Camelot is a later French invention. A romantic ideal that took root centuries later. Real courts were mobile, moving from stronghold to stronghold, following the resources and the ebb and flow of power. The glittering court life of legend reflects the medieval world of the storytellers, a world of fantasy and escapism, not the harsh reality of the Dark Ages, a time of struggle, survival, and constant uncertainty. The myth of Camelot is a romantic vision, a product of later medieval imagination, not a historical one, grounded in the archaeological and historical evidence of the time. The real post-Roman Britain was a world in turmoil, a period of upheaval and transformation, far removed from the chivalric dream, a world of mud, blood and iron, not shining armor and courtly grace. Arthurian legend is rich with potent symbols, each carrying layers of meaning and historical weight. These symbols resonate through the ages, continuing to captivate our imaginations. None are more famous or instantly recognizable than Excalibur. Sometimes depicted as the sword in the stone, a test of worthiness, and sometimes as a gift bestowed by the mystical Lady of the Lake, Excalibur marks Arthur's divine right to rule, a symbol of his magical destiny and inherent leadership. Its solemn return to the water upon Arthur's death poignantly signals the end of an era, a passing of power. Merlin, the enigmatic wizard and advisor, skillfully bridges the often separate worlds of magic and tangible reality, guiding Arthur with his wisdom, but also burdened with foreseeing his tragic, unavoidable fate. The Round Table, conceived with principles of equality and unwavering unity, stands tall as a powerful symbol of justice, unwavering fellowship, and shared purpose. Its eventual shattering into pieces tragically mirrors the devastating collapse of Camelot's lofty ideals. Even if the historical Arthur never truly lived, his enduring legend profoundly shapes our collective ideas of effective leadership, unwavering justice, and enduring hope. Camelot's dramatic rise and devastating fall serves as a blueprint for striving towards a just society, and also a cautionary warning about the ever-present potential for human flaws to undermine even the noblest endeavors. The timeless story endures through generations, because it speaks directly to our deepest hopes and also our most primal fears. But as the sun rises over each new generation, Arthur's legend reminds us that hope is never lost. The promise of a better world is always within reach if we choose to seek it. As Excalibur returns to the lake, its ripples spread outward, echoes of courage, unity, and hope that reach us even now. Let us carry forward the spirit of Arthur, striving for justice, believing in unity, and daring to hope. The legend lives on in each of us. Thank you for watching.